Hi there and welcome to the channel. Today using Kuretake paints, I've got a red, a green and not quite sure how to say this, Aurelian, sort of a yellow colour. Got cold pressed watercolour paper which I've taped down onto my little board, and I've got quite a large brush here, and I just want to make these really rich vibrant coloured background. So just sloshing on that red paint there, being really liberal with the application, getting a load of colour on there. I don't want any wishy-washy today. I want it full on, vibrant, full power. So this is wet on dry technique. The paper underneath is dry and I'm putting the wet paint on top. So as you can see, keeping that vibrant colour, washing out my brush and then grabbing the yellow and just adding that here and there. As the paints touch, they start to granulate into one another, and if you look there at the top, you can see that lovely yellow just merging into that red. So I've got this lush green, and again just getting a load of that colour on my paintbrush and putting it onto the page. These Kuretake paints go on really thickly, so it offers a really lush background for your doodles. You may find that you may want to go over it again just because it's not vibrant enough. So I've just grabbed the red there, going over again because I want a real deep colour. So let the base dry, and once that's dried, I'm going in with my thick brush and I'm just making these marks all over the page using exactly the same colour, red, yellow and green, to make these marks. Using the same brush but different techniques. So in places just lightly putting the paint on, in other places pressing down the brush quite hard. So you can use just the one brush to do a whole picture. It's just about utilising it in a different way. So this, I'm just using the tip of the paintbrush here and very, very lightly mark making on top. So when you've let that layer dry, you want to then grab yourself a white acrylic paint pen. And we're looking at the marks that we've made. We just want to enhance it by just brightening it up by adding this white pen. Any marks you can make on here, so you just need to have a look and see what you think's best. My mark making seems to be a series of dashes, dots, or just outlining a shape. But you may have different patterns that you want to put on there. You might want to put zigzags, bubbles, whatever comes to your mind. This is so easy to do, as you can see, and I really hope you get to try. And if you like this, maybe you'll consider liking and subscribing, or maybe you leave me a message and let me know what colours you've used. I would love to hear. Outlining some of the little green dots that I put there, I think that does look actually quite bubbylicious, as though the bubbles are floating up to the surface there. Then moving on to the red marks at the bottom and just adding these little dashes. So I've done another picture very similar to this. In fact, it was sectioned into 4, and I used very much the same technique that I'm using here. I cut them up into sort of like little cards, which they could actually be put in a frame and use as a series. So maybe you want to catch up on that video and have a look if you like this one. The trick to this is just being free, not to think about it, not to plan, just to do. Just see what comes out of you, out of your mind, and see what happens. Some things you'll like, some things you won't. But it'll all make sense once you start expressing yourself in this way, and you'll identify how this makes you feel. To be honest, I don't know what I'd do without art. I think I really like that ability to get lost in my own mind, in myself, in that moment, free to express myself and get down some items on a page. I would love to hear how art makes you feel. Does it make you feel really good inside? Or do you struggle sometimes and worry about the perfectionism of it all? Or are you able to just be free and just slap that paint on and just go with it? Looking at this page, I love the 3 at the bottom. I think they look like little men with bandages around their head. So that's made me smile quite a bit. So continuing having a look, sometimes you just need to stand back and just look at the page, maybe even squint your eyes, see how that works for you. And then you get an idea of what is missing where. So continuing with the white theme and just adding those marks all over the page. Adding some dots here, some dots there. Just having a look now and seeing what is needed where. These paint pens are just so great to use. They really lay down a nice thick colour so you can really see the white. Sometimes you struggle to get a white pen that works very well, but I think these work exceptionally well. So I'm just adding some little bubbles going up the page there, and I think that looks quite good. Just following it through those other marks and then having a look and seeing what else is needed. So little marks down the side there. And then I'm just going to do like these little marks, and I think it looks a bit like an Ordnance Survey map. You know, when you see the boundaries or the little paths that go through on a map. So I just thought that'd look nice, just adding those here and there, just scrolling them across the page, sort of connecting them up, and then just taking them through all these different colour bands. I think it is really starting to look like a map. I can see like little lakes and little boats in little lakes and this pathway that's going across the page. What can you see? So I didn't know whether to add any additional colour to this, but I'm glad that I just stuck with the white paint pen. But what I think I am going to do is grab a thicker yellow paint pen and just outline the border with that, just because I like doing that. And I think the white, I'm not going to see that because once you peel away the tape, it will just be white the same as what's around the border. So I'm using this yellow paint pen here just to get that lovely line, having to do it a couple of times there just to get the colour down, and then peeling away the tape, and you can see the lovely border there, bringing it up to the camera, and you can see all the lovely detail. So lots of lovely bubbles, lots of lovely pathways, lots of lovely colour. So I think it's quite vibrant. I think it's worked well. You may think differently. You might want to let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for spending your time. Hope to see you again soon and hope you have a great day. Okay then, thanks.